What is going on, my Twitch familia? I need to make sure that this is okay. That's exactly what I want. Yeah, thank you. Why is it not showing? Oh no. Why you gotta be so rude? Let me check it out. So now I feel like I screwed everything up. And that is not what I wanted to do right now. I do not understand. Oh, there we go. Duh. I'm so dumb. Anyway, alright. So, I know that a lot of people aren't exactly going to be like, oh shit. Okay, so I know a lot of people aren't on the same wavelength as me as far as why I think, or why they think these people are going to win, that person's going to win. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you why I think Optic is going to win champs. But first and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and do all the other pick'ems as well as Optic. But I'm going to go through and try to give you the most in-depth from a, how do you say, you can call me a casual, except I've been watching since Black Ops 2, and I've been a huge fan ever since. So I'm really a hardcore fan, but you know, I'm not tied to the scene like, you know, a Zuma or a Miles or a Lando. So from like the outside looking in, I'm gonna go ahead and give you my reasoning on why I think Optic is gonna go ahead and win champs this weekend, and it's close. This is literally the last minute way I could do this video. I didn't know if I really wanted to do it at all, but I decided, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna do it. And feel free to talk to me in chat as we go through, if you want to. So in winners round 1, the Atlanta FaZe versus New York Subliners. This one is gonna actually be, for me, I think New York's going to ride that high and win 3-2 over Atlanta FaZe. Atlanta FaZe didn't exactly look great in Major 4, in my opinion. Now, you know, don't hate, because I do think Atlanta's going to make a pretty deep run in the losers bracket. But I feel like for some reason, this game right here, everybody's predicted FaZe to go above New York. And the whole time I was thinking, you know what, I feel like the New York Subliners are just going to pull it out. Something in my brain was telling me that Krim and Hydra and Kismet and Paul, even though I'm not sure what's going on with Paul with the injury or whatever is going on with him, I don't know exactly how that's going to play out, but I'm hopeful, or I don't want to say hopeful. I just have this gut feeling that it's going to go 3-2 Subliners over Atlanta FaZe. I do not know why. This game here, the Seattle Surge versus London Royal Ravens, I'm going 3-1. Seattle is going to kind of run away with the series against London. London, to me, they have not looked great on LAN, and I do not expect that they're going to do any better today, or well, this weekend, especially against the Seattle Surge. So moving on, I'm going to go ahead and do the Boston Breach and LA Thieves first, because I want to dive deeper into the Optic Texas matches than the other ones. So This is a tough one for me because I really like the way that Boston has looked. I think adding Vivid to their roster, Boston have looked way better than they did. And not saying that Capitol is bad, just the way that Boston has looked with Vivid, even though his stats haven't been the greatest as far as KD goes, he is just the amount of pressure that Vivid puts on the map is astonishing. But I'm going to go ahead and say Thieves 3-1 because Los Angeles Thieves looked spectacular in Major 4. That's finally the first time in I don't know how long I have seen that team play like a team and not like a bunch of pickup members trying to make it in this league. I am happy for Octane. I'm a fan of Octane. I'm not gonna lie, I never really paid attention to who Octane was until he joined Optic in World War II, and I feel bad that I didn't because he's actually pretty nasty, but I digress. We're gonna go ahead and move on now. Optic Texas for Toronto Ultra. So this one I'm going 3-1. A lot of people have this as a 3-2. Some have it as a 3-1. I'm going 3-1 simply because I have to trust in my boys Optic here. They said that they've been having good practice, that they've been improving in a lot of their mistakes, a lot of their areas where they were talking about, needing to improve on. So I'm happy with that. But also, first and foremost, it's Champs weekend. It is the weekend of Call of Duty Champs, the biggest tournament of the year. And who shows up bigger than anybody during Champs? It is Scump. And we're going to have Scump doing his thing on the main stage. Big boy. I hope he does bring the Scumpy tag back for Champs. We're going to have Big Boy Scump. Hopefully Scump and Shotzi can be on the same page. Now, I've said before, and I'll say it again, you guys haven't heard me say it because I don't typically talk about this stuff on my Twitch. Although I would like to. I love the way Shotzi plays Call of Duty. He puts a pace that I have yet to really see outside of Vivid. He puts a pace and a pressure on the map that is almost uncontested. Like, Vivid puts a pace, but I don't know that he puts the same amount of pressure. Like, when you're running straight at these kids and you're popping 3 pieces, that's pace, that's pressure, that is, what are we going to do? We got to kill Shotzi, you know what I mean? But then he has these moments where I'm like, why did you do that? Why are you sprinting there? Slow down just a tad, dude. Like, I love you, Shotzi, but slow down just a tad, because I see him, and it's not even just him. Like, Scump does it too. Dashy does it sometimes, but Dashy, he's a main AR, so he shouldn't be sprinting into too many situations, and Illy's pretty methodical, but Shotzi, for some reason, the most, gets caught sprinting at people. And while I love the pace that Shotzi puts on for our guys, it can be detrimental. Now, I hope that they have fixed that issue going into this weekend, because if they have not, then this is going to be yet again another hard weekend like Major 4 was for the Optic camp. Let's go down to the elimination side of the bracket, because this is where it's going to get easier from this moment forward, and I may end up surprising some people with these picks. Now, this is going to be a hot 3-0. That's an easy match. Like most people, London, sorry, love you, but you guys are out top 8 this weekend. There's just not much more I can do for you. And then this is where it gets a little hairy, because most people have Toronto beating Boston, but Boston has Toronto's number this season. And with the addition of Vivid is going to help keep the pace on Toronto, just like Kleenex helps keep the pace on anybody else, when Toronto's playing them. Kleenex and Vivid are just, pace setters. They are fast playing submachine guns up in your face. The only problem is I think Nero is better than Bance at following Vivid up. Bance is a great submachine gun. Been around for a long time. I've followed his career as well as the Optic boys. I've been around it, and I absolutely cannot understate enough how great of an SMG that Bance is. I just don't think that he's fast enough to keep up with Kleenex the way Nero keeps up with Vivid. And the way that Boston has looked, they looked darn good at Major 4, and they've been looking pretty good outside of, I think it was Major 3 that they looked a little shoddy, as far as that goes. So the CDL this season has actually been quite a wonderful gem, with Atlanta FaZe not winning a single series but going to, or a single finals, but going second, third the entire year as far as majors go. That's crazy to me. New York, they've been bottom of the barrel to qualifying for champs in Major 4. Literally bottom of the barrel, 70 points I think it was going into Major 4, even the qualifiers, or I think it was, and then boom. I do not know how they qualified for it, but they dug deep, man. Krim got them deep out of that pretty good. So this is why this conversation right here, nobody's having it, and I really want them to, because this conversation, the New York Subliners versus the Seattle Surge, this is a battle of who wants it more, right? Seattle has gotten a major victory this year, and if we stay true to the trend, nobody has won more than one tournament this year. Kickoff Classic was won by Toronto, Major 1 Optic, Major 2 LAG, Major 3 Seattle, Major 4 LA Thieves, good God. And then, of course, the Pro-Am Classic was the Subliners. So this is the problem here. We have two teams in Winners Round 2 that have won at a LAN tournament this year. Do we think that somebody repeats? Do we think somebody doesn't? Who knows? I actually am calling this one a 3-2. Oh, this is so tough. Because on one hand, New York is digging deep to try and get through this, and on the other hand, Seattle Surge, man, the way that Pred and Sib have looked, I know accuracy's been a little underwhelming. This is a tough one. I'm gonna go 3-2 Seattle. And this is where it's going to get a little controversial for me, me, and I'm going to get totally roasted by anybody that sees this if it doesn't go down this way. But hear me out. Hear me out. All right. I have to go with the 3-0. Not because I think it's the most likely option, but this 3-0 is likely only due to the way that these teams pick and ban the maps, and the way the seeding works out, right? So because Optic is the higher seed, I'm not actually 100% sure if what I'm about to say holds weight, but I believe the higher seed has the front half of the series. I could be talking out my ass. Here's my thought. My thought is that the first map that they're going to play is going to be a Gavutu hardpoint. Simply because the Thieves' auto veto for hardpoint is bow cage. And I don't think Optic wants to play them on Berlin. So I think the two maps that we're going to get is a Gavutu and a Tuscan. I think the Gavutu is going to go map 1. If it doesn't go map 1, that's where this number gets a little tricky, right? Because I think Gavutu is going to be Optic's map to win against the LA Thieves. If Gavutu isn't map 1, this is a 3-2 victory for Optic, because I still think the Optic Search and Destroy is better than LA Thieves Search and Destroy, and I still think that they're going to be able to take they're going to definitely take the search and destroy. They're going to 2-4-5 or 1-2-5 if Gavutu isn't the first map, in my opinion, or isn't the first map, or if for some reason they don't have their control on straight, they get the Gavutu first, they go 1-2-5. But I think they go 1-2-3 because I also believe that the Berlin control is going to get banned. Optic Texas is not going to let them have Berlin control, which is their best control map. The only question then becomes, do the Thieves run the risk of playing Optic on Tuscan, or do they play them on Gavutu? Now, Optic is really good at both maps. They haven't looked so good in control lately, but Optic has been really good in the past on Tuscan, and has been, and really I don't know when the last time we see him playing good Gavutu control was, but they are good at Gavutu control. So that's why I think this is a 3-0. Now it's going to be controversial, but hear me out, all right? And then that's that match. Atlanta FaZe is not going to take too kindly to losing to the New York Subliners, so they're going to come out mad, bop the Ravens. See ya, bye, top 8. The Thieves are going to go from winning Major 4 to getting bopped out by Optic and Atlanta. When you think about the reasoning here why, is that Celium, a monster. Simpanabeezy, Tiny Terrors, if they're on point, then this is a 3-0. If they're not on point, that's why this is a 3-2. This is the safest bet for me right here, is that happens, simply because I can't they can't get 3-0 bopped, 3-0 bopped. It's not going to happen. But, I mean, it's possible if Simpanabeezy are on their game. All this team needs right here to finally win an event is for Alec to turn up Arcides. Arcides needs to not be dropping 0.8 or low 0.9s. He needs to be at a 1.0 or better. And this team 3-0 bops this team, even if the Tiny Terrors are playing average. But because of the way that Alec has been playing lately, aka Arcides, this team has been struggling. Now, Arcides is a great player. I liked him in E United. I've liked him through Chicago Huntsman, of course. I was a Chicago Huntsman fan. I liked him when he went over to FaZe. I thought it was a great move for him. I thought, that everybody had done right by Arcides by letting him do that, because he needed a place to go, so I think as long as the Tiny Terrors play average, Celium plays like he always does, walking 1.2 as everybody says, and Alec drops a 1.0. I mean, this team is going to be hard to beat. Then we move down here, the New York Subliners versus the Boston Breach. Now, the New York Subliners have had Boston's number pretty much all season, with probably the exception of a couple matches, maybe here or there. I don't know. I don't pay attention to it much. But this is a rivalry here, right? I've seen Boston beat New York. I've seen New York beat Boston. Now, here's the problem. I don't remember the last time these guys played. I could be wrong. I don't think that these two teams have played at least much since Vivid has been in the roster. And Vivid hasn't been in the roster very long. So I think that with the added pace that Boston has with Vivid, it makes this team more contendable. But this is where Boston ends their run. They go out top 6. They can't go any higher. New York Subliners, they're not gonna get beat by the Seattle Surge, come down here, play Boston, and just get bopped out. It's not going to happen. They're going to be pissed off. Crim's going to show up. It's Champs Weekend. Now, I'm going to go ahead and scroll. Why can't I move my thingy? Oh, no. There we go. I'm sorry, new to computers here. Nerd alert, nerd alert. So, we are going to pick this one. This is, I think Optic goes through to the grand final from the winners final, and they do this in a 3-1 fashion. Because now Optic is a team of momentum, right? So they went ahead and beat the teams that people thought that they weren't going to beat, like the LA Thieves. They went out, they bopped the LA Thieves 3-0. They're riding this high. Now all of a sudden, they're playing with the momentum of Major 1. And Major 1 Optic was unbeatable. If Major 1 Optic comes out and gives everybody the business, it's a wrap. So I don't even know what else to say about it. This is my winners final bracket. So this Optic Texas in the grand final, this is where it gets a little interesting now, right? So we have the Atlanta FaZe and the New York Subliners. Surely the Subliners don't beat FaZe twice. I think actually FaZe comes out pissed off, bops the Subliners. Crim goes out top 4, done, dusted. Get out of here. See ya, punk. Love you, Crim. You were on the Dynasty for a long time, but now you're an enemy, and that's just the way it's going to be. I think FaZe are going to finally get their act together, and New York is just going to fall. FaZe is overall the better team than New York. New York is still in its infancy with the roster that it has. The chemistry might not be there. I don't know that they're going to have it clutch time come champs. I think Crim might, but I don't think that we'll see that out of Hydra or Paul. I think this is where it ends for him here. They go at top 4. Nothing wrong with that. After the way their season looked, the top 4 at champs, godsend. Seattle Surge versus Atlanta FaZe. Now Seattle Surge has had Atlanta's FaZe's number as well this season. I'm pretty sure. Beating them in a major, beating them in a major final, beating them in a qualifying match. This is a tough series for me to call simply because I want to say that Atlanta FaZe is going to win this, and we're going to see a repeat of Major 1 in the Champs Final. Something in my gut is just telling me that that's not going to happen. Something is telling me that Seattle Surge is going to pull a miracle win here off against Atlanta FaZe and get into the grand final with Optic Texas. The only problem is I think that my gut is wrong, because every time I feel like somebody needs to beat Atlanta FaZe, we need to take them out of the tournament. If it's not Optic, somebody's got to get Atlanta FaZe out. It never works, and they almost always make it to the grand final. I can never count out Atlanta FaZe, and I think that this is what we're going to be left with. My bracket probably looks very different than a majority of people's, and I may be super faded, and I might be way off, but we'll have to see, because Champs starts tomorrow, baby. Now, the grand final match, Optic, Texas, Atlanta, FaZe. Who do I have winning? Well, obviously by the title of this stream, I've got Optic Texas winning. The question is, how many maps do I think that FaZe takes off of this Optic Texas team, riding this high, riding this wave, riding this momentum from 3-0 bop in the Thieves, 3-1 bop in the Surge, and going into the grand final on Champs Sunday, Championship weekend, baby. This is going to be me like I was in 2017 when they won champs. Hype as shit. So, I'm going to be real with you. That's the score. 5-3. Optic takes it in 8. The reason I say that is because Optic has had phases number all season besides the one match that they played against each other on LAN in Major 4. That game should have went Optic Texas's way, but there were so many mistakes in that match, I could not fathom the thoughts that were running through their brains. I do not think, though, however, that they make the same mistake. I think that much like Major 1, this is a battle. Trading respawns, search and destroy going this way, respawn going this way. I really feel like this is a battle, but then Optic wins that one, or no, in the final, it was the other way, right? Yeah, it was the other way. But I do see it kind of flip-flopped. I see the respawns going Atlanta's way with the exception of one, and the search and destroys going towards Optic's direction, and everything. Like, I think the stars align. Scumpy gets his second ring, and the boys, Shotzi, Illy, Dashy gets his first ring. Dashy getting a ring will be great. I honestly cannot wait for this match because this is exactly how I think that this is gonna go. There are a couple, like this one, my gut's like, and even my gut was like, on this one, because you can't just count Crimsix out. But I just don't see how the subliners beat FaZe twice on championship weekend. And I really don't see Surge beating FaZe on championship weekend. I think after the way that this has gone, this bracket looks pretty beautiful. I wouldn't change anything. This is probably the biggest one that that I'm going to be looking for. Because regardless of how these two series go map count wise, I still think Optic wins. I still think Thieves win. And I really want to see this matchup. I hope it goes 3-0 because the Optic boys really need the confidence of 3-0ing the Major 4 champions. This one's going to immediately throw my entire thing through a loop. Like this one, I really see it. If I don't get the perfect bracket, that's fine. If I don't get the best bracket, that's fine. But I really don't want to look stupid. You know what I mean? I'd rather have it all correct except for the map count. But that's probably not going to happen because I've got some faded takes. So, yeah. And just to show you, I'm not kidding around. I am submitting my predictions. They are locked in. I am now going to go ahead and open this up for discussion if anybody wants to talk. You have a couple minutes to go ahead and type in chat and I will respond to chat. If not, I'm going to go ahead and close this down, and I will be uploading this full stream of this pick'em to YouTube so I can expand my audience. I'm going to go ahead and leave you open. Anybody got any comments on this? Right here. On any of this. Oh. Man, I can't believe I locked this in. Oh my goodness, I'm probably gonna get roasted. This thing right here is gonna be the one that people roast me for. I really think though that the Thieves shot themselves in the foot by talking all that smack, calling Optic overrated. It's a cop-out, bro. It's a cop-out. Why? Because the Optic fans have the Optic Texas team has the biggest fan base in the entire CDO. So no matter what you think, the stands are always going to say, yeah, they're winning every tournament, and if they don't win, then whoa, we all look stupid. We're not overrated. They are not overrated. They're rated perfectly. If your season went anything like theirs, you'd be derailed too. I don't want to hear it. It takes a toll on the mental to have to go through substitutes like that, man. And the fact that they were able to make it work the way that they did just shows that they have the grit, they have the fortitude to go ahead and just keep pushing through, man. I'm very proud of my guys. They need a little help, and if anybody wants to reach out to Hex, I'm willing to go in there and be the hype man for my boys, man. I'll hype them up all day. Ain't nobody going to be able to hype them up like me. I am the hype, all right? When you get me in person and I got to hype people up, I'll just sit there and hype these dudes up. My boys will have the most hype coming out of me. I do not care. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close that down for now. I appreciate you for watching. Thank you for all the support and all the love that you guys are showing me. If you guys want to go ahead and catch this video again, like I said, it's going to be uploaded to my YouTube channel at OG Mr. Smack. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscription, please. I love you. Thank you. Have a wonderful night.